You've been told your whole life to work hard, save in a 401k, and rely on Social Security for retirement. But no one told you the truth. That plan was outdated before it even started, and now the clock's ticking. And in this video, we're going to talk about the flaws with the traditional retirement plans and what you can do to ensure you don't fall into that and you can set yourself up for a really strong retirement and also build a lot of wealth along the way. My name is Dustin, and I look at a lot of personal financial statements with my day job, and there is some serious patterns that are very alarming when it comes to not only wealth generation, but especially being prepared for retirement. And in this video, I want to talk through some of those things. But first, let's talk about Social Security. This is actually quite interesting and something I've spent a lot of time thinking about. Social Security, most folks don't even know what it is and where it came from or why it was even started. But this started all the way back during the Great Depression. Actually, in 1935, Social Security was created. And the purpose of it was to help folks that were 65 years of age and older have a little bit of money to kind of bridge the gap from if they saved enough or not. Now, here's the really interesting thing about when this plan was set up. Back then in 1935, the life expectancy was 61 years old. So think about this for a second. The plan was set to kick in at 65, but the life expectancy was 61. So the whole deal here was it was not meant to be this big retirement deal where it would fund people for 20, 30 plus years after they were done working. And you can see if we look at today's issue, the big problem with this. So we obviously are living a lot longer than 65 or 61, and Social Security is already underfunded, and you hear this every election cycle. And matter of fact, it's going on right now, this big, beautiful bill that was just passed. A lot of talk is with Social Security and all the things happening with that. And if Congress doesn't do something, they're projecting by the next 10 years that your payments can be reduced drastically. And it's already not enough to be able to sustain you in your retirement. And so this plan of Social Security was never meant to be your core option to take care of you after you retire. And if we look at some of the payouts these days in Social Security, it is right around actually just under $2,000 a month, which if you look at the average household of what people are spending once they retire, it's right about $5,000 a month. And so stick with me here for a little bit, because obviously you're putting together that Social Security payments are not enough to retire on. And then when we get to 401k plans and what those averages look like, those two combined paint a pretty not great story. And so, all right, let's look what people actually have in their 401ks as far as averages. And I'm just going to skip to the folks that are 65 years old and getting ready to retire. By the way, if you'd like a guide on some of the things that I'm talking about in this video and some resources to get yourself set up for a great retirement, check the link in the description. You can grab that in the first link. Also, grabbing that guide will add you to my weekly newsletter called Beyond the Paycheck, where I talk about things on how to invest your money, where you can put your paycheck to set yourself up, not only for a good retirement, but to build wealth for your family along the way. So let's look at the folks that are 65. According to Fidelity, the average person has less than $250,000 in their bank account, or their 401k account to be able to retire on. As you can imagine, that's not nearly enough to be able to retire on. So if we take your Social Security payment, which would be right under $2,000 a month, and then we also take, let's say, a popular deal to pull out of your 401k is 4% a year. So if we just go with just under $250,000, this example is actually $232,000. You'd be pulling out just under $800 a month from your 401k. So if we add up the Social Security check, which is just under $2,000 a month, and then we pull out your 401k each month, which is just under $800 a month, you're looking at less than $3,000 a month. And then I told you at the top of the video that most folks spend about $5,000 a month in retirement just to sustain their current life and live the way that they want to live. And let me pause here for a second for some of the statistics and the generalities here. You've worked your whole career, your whole life, in this case, 40, 50 plus years. I don't know about you, but the last thing that I want to do is barely scrape by, have to stay at my house and watch reruns on TV on things that I don't even like. My thought of retirement is getting to a point where you can live, right? You can travel, you can do the things you want, you can buy the stuff that you want to buy and really live at a level that you've maybe dreamed of. And so, if that is appealing to you and you have aspirations to live or retire that way, stick around because I'm going to get into the solution that I am doing. And I would recommend giving this some serious thought to make sure you are set up not only for retirement, but to actually live and go out and do some of the big things that you may want to do. And so if you haven't put it together yet, Social Security is failing you, your 401k plan is probably failing you because also, just going back to the 401k for a second, it's not that they don't work, right? A lot of companies do a match and all of those, which go for it. I'm not saying don't do those things, but the problem is a lot of folks are either not contributing to a 401k or they're not putting enough into it to be able to get to them to the point where they can have a really nice nest egg to be able to retire on. And so the solution to this is to buy real estate, more specifically, long-term buy and hold rentals. That's what I've been doing for the last several years, and I continue to do to make sure that I have not just money for retirement, but a really nice wealth generation tool for my family and I, and to build some legacy here. And let me just talk through why real estate. And so one, it can create cash flow each month for you. So tenants pay the rent. If you run your numbers correctly, that rent will spit off cash flow, or AKA profit, after you pay all your expenses. And then you also get appreciation. As the years go by, things appreciate as far as real estate. And so even if things or these properties appreciate just 2-3% a year, you project that out 20-30 plus years from now, your real estate is going to be quite valuable. And then also along the lines of that, let's say you're watching this video and you happen to be 45 years old. If you take out a note or a mortgage on this rental property, that's a 20-year note, fast forward to you turn 65 in 20 years, now these properties are paid off. And one of the things I really enjoy about real estate investing is you have a lot of options on what you can do with this real estate. So not only does it cash flow, not only do you build appreciation, you get some really great tax benefits. So you can have things like depreciation, where you can help offset some of the money that you're paying in taxes from your day job. You can do write off things for your business and interest on your mortgages, and lots of different things that you're paying to actually keep up these properties and run this business. And then lastly, the thing that might be most exciting about real estate investing is the leverage that it provides. See, with a 401k or investing in stocks and different things like that, you need a lot of that money up front to be able to go out and create those returns, especially with the stock market. With real estate, you just need a small portion of that money yourself, and you can go out and borrow money from a bank, and they can help finance these things to be able to grow your wealth at a much, much faster rate. And so I'd like to just paint a picture here because, most people think you need a ton of properties or millions of dollars of investment capital to go out and do this thing. But I just want to offer an example of buying 5 properties. Let's say you buy 5 rental properties, single family homes, nothing crazy. And by the time that you get to retirement age at 65, let's call it, let's say these 5 properties are worth $200,000 a piece. And so if you have 5 at 200, I'm no math genius, but that is right at $1 million. And let's say for a second that those properties happen to be paid off. Well, now you're probably not caring a whole lot about Social Security or your 401k because you have this huge nest egg in real estate, and you have several options that you can do with this. So one, you can sell them all and have $1 million in the bank and go live your life. I wouldn't recommend that for taxes and lots of other reasons. But you have one route, you can sell it, have $1 million in cash, or, of course you got to pay taxes on that. Or you can take out some cash. You can have these paid off properties and do cash out refinances and take some money out when you need it. And the beautiful thing is, if you take money out of your property and do a cash out refinance, that is tax-free money because you're not taxed on debt that you go out and create on these properties. And also your tenants are continuing to pay you money every month in the form of rent that spits off cash flow. So again, in the example that these properties are paid off, Let's say each property is $1,000 a month that the rent is, and I'm sure in 20 years from now it's going to be much higher than that. But that's an additional $5,000 a month, aka what your living expenses would be when you retire, according to some of the things that we just talked through. And then now you're set up. So let's just do some generalities here. Let's say you pull $2,000 from Social Security, if it's still around, whenever you go to pull that. So that's $2,000. Let's say you pull another $2,000 from your 401k each month. Now you're at $4,000. And let's say that you pull $5,000 from your rental property. Now you're at $9,000 a month, and you have more than what your living expenses probably going to be. And you can go out and live your life. You can go travel. You can go buy things. You can go buy more real estate if that's what you want to do. And aside from all of the benefits that we just talked about, probably one of the biggest benefits, if not the biggest benefit, is the peace of mind. Understanding that you can take care of yourself and you'll have everything that you need in your retirement after you're finished working, and to go enjoy all the fruits of your labor for the last few decades prior to you retiring. And so I hope you found this video valuable. I hope it opened your eyes. And really the reason I made this video was to get you to think into the future and think ahead on, is what you're doing right now working? Or are you on track to be able to go out and do some of the things that you want to do for wealth generation and retirement income that you're trying to create? And if not, it's time to make some changes and reroute your plan. And this channel is here to help you do that. So if you found value and you're still here with me, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel, where each and every week I'll publish videos on real estate investing, how to help you invest your money from your day job and make sure that you set yourself up nicely to be able to do all those things. And also, before you jump, check out this video somewhere on this page that I did last week that walked you through my story, how I bought my first rental property, and what that all looked like. So appreciate you watching this video. This one is a wrap. Bye for now.